Hey, it's Amanda, and I am hanging out with Isaac Taylor and Zach Hanson.
Hey.
Welcome back
Hello.
to Toronto, guys. It's been a long month and a couple weeks since you've been here.
This has been a really fun year for traveling because we've gotten to visit a lot of places and in some cases come back because we were just on tour celebrating our 25th anniversary as a band, which was great. Toronto is always an awesome place to play.
I was at that show.
It was really fun, and so now we're back for 2 nights celebrating Christmas.
Right on. So first, let's talk about Christmas because finally it's Christmas.
Yes,
finally it is Christmas.
I came with my Pugmas sweater.
Aww.
So every year, my fiance and I, we do a Christmas card with the dogs, and we have a pug, and we have another one. She looks like a fox. She's a Tibetan Spaniel, and so we always have pug sweaters on. So this is this year's theme, and I felt that it was appropriate. Thank you.
Well, we think it's great. It's sparkly. It has a dog.
Right.
It has a red nose.
There.
I mean, dogs are man's best friend, so I mean,
Absolutely. Well, you guys all have dogs, right?
We do.
Yeah. So we're celebrating Christmas now, and you guys did this album, if I'm correct, last year, right? You recorded
it, yeah, because we knew.
Which was such a tease, by the way. Like, not fair. Come on. I have
it was
to wait
part of the
year.
finally it's Christmas buzz. It's finally here. Like it's been building up.
In order to have it come out this year and be doing all the touring that we did, we were here just a month ago. We knew we had to record the Christmas album early, and so it was done almost a year ago.
Exactly
right now. And which was awesome because normally people make Christmas albums in the summer.
Yeah.
And that's just not
I think Michael Bublé did that.
It's just not fun, And so we got to actually do it during the holidays and do it, when the weather was cold and people were wearing the jackets, and it wasn't too strange to be putting up your Christmas decorations in October. Like, it was a little odd, but people were like, okay, they're just really prepared.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, the lyric does say, "Finally, it's Christmas." Feels like we've been waiting all year.
Yeah.
So
I know.
Anybody that was waiting for the record for
There
a
you
year
go.
knows exactly how it feels.
Right on. How did it feel? So you guys used the same producer that you did with Snowden. How did it feel to be back in the studio with him? Like, was it just like, oh my gosh, it's 1997 again?
It felt great. I mean, we have produced a lot of our own stuff, and we've also worked with some amazing producers as well. And Mark is somebody that we learned a lot from, especially early on. And it was a reunion. It felt like here we were coming back together, and
Family back
we had
together.
we have a very close communication style. I think he can be pretty straight, and we'll be straight right back at him. No, don't like that.
You're
idea.
seeing that now with the video because you guys are releasing videos with the album coming out and everything.
It's very like familial
Yeah.
with Mark, and he'll yell at you just like family would, and we yell right back at him.
Navidad and happy holidays. Don't matter if you're 9 or 98.
The thing that's cool about this record, I mean, there's a lot of interesting things about the record. I mean, it truly has come full circle. But Christmas is, obviously it's a religious holiday based on, something that is really important to so many people. But on the cultural side, it's also, so much about nostalgia, so much about reflection and your memories and your history and your relationships. And so there was something kind of cool about coming back and having those memories with a partner, with a producer, with a collaborator, and also CJ Erickson, who engineered the record, who made The Walk with us, a great engineer. And friend, and so it was.
It's also worked with people like U2.
Yeah, many things.
Who's that?
Yeah.
I think I heard
It's a
them.
small band from Dublin, Ireland.
Okay,
Not
okay.
many of
So
them.
it was really fun, and we it was really a relatively short process. I mean, it was the actual work on the record was less than 2 months. So for us, that's pretty fast.
Yeah, and like talking about Christmas and like nostalgia and stuff like that, I read a study the other day saying that if you put your decorations up earlier, the happier you'll be. So by releasing this in October, everybody is just so freaking happy about it.
And 2017 has been a weird year, so we're like, come on, finally it's Christmas.
I know, like, come on, let's get this,
get this going.
Well, we actually had a debate about that though too, because on a personal level, I mean, the whole like over retailed like promotion of Christmas really irritates me.
Yeah.
Ike's getting level.
Ike is
Tell
getting
us how you really
very
feel.
curmudgeon.
Yeah, no, I know it really makes me angry. It makes me angry.
He's the old grumpy brother.
But in order to get the record out into the places that it needed to be out, so that Christmas season didn't just come out of nowhere for people. We actually had to put it out a little earlier than we would have liked.
Here's the deal. One, so everybody in the U.S. tends to think that everyone does what the U.S. does, right? So a lot of places don't celebrate Halloween as a holiday, so that's not a barrier. And nowhere except the U.S. celebrates Thanksgiving on November, the fourth Thursday of November, right? Because that's a U.S. holiday as well. So we sort of figured that, put the record out. People who want to start celebrating early can pick it up and enjoy it, and people who aren't ready for it can wait until today. They can wait till November 23rd for all.
It's there when
that
you're
we
ready.
need to.
Actually,
it's there when you need it, and it's sort of like Advil in the cabinet. It's there when you need it. Like, you don't wait to buy it; you have it in the cabinet, and you get a headache, you go for it. You need some Christmas cheer, you put the record on, and
But what happens if the record gives you a headache?
Well, no, it doesn't. Our record is magical. I think the other thing too, for me, so Christmas, as a cultural statement across the world, I think the real great thing about it is we all get to be a slightly better version of ourselves.
Totally.
And whether it's retail therapy, whether it's just spending a little more time thinking about someone close to you that you want to get something nice for, like, oh, I'm going to get you that watch or that video game or that thing that I know you really want, you'll enjoy
right now,
right?
I might want a.
And the more intense version of that is that a lot of people take extra time to go give their time, right?
Yeah.
Going to soup kitchens, making meals for people, volunteering, and so the idea that we would start that early. Oh no, we started doing that in October. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I'm okay with the idea that we let ourselves be a little cheerier, a little better version of ourselves.
This is your second Christmas album. The first being 20 years ago. It was the most successful album, a Christmas album of 1997 when it came out. I brought my original Snowden, and it's very scratched.
Look at you.
It's very scratchy.
Good job.
This was in my car, which is in my car all year. Starts running about October. So see, I'm seasonally on point. And this new one, you guys obviously did new songs. There's a couple new original songs, and there's also some covers. I have to say, Isaac, Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas. When in October, I have to point out October, listen to it, driving to work, just start tearing up. Like,
It
my
is-
God, it's so nice. I just picture you sitting there just rocking in a rocking chair. I don't know why a rocking chair. And just singing it and a little book in front of you.
Hot toddy,
right.
eggnog.
A fireplace. And it's just there's Isaac singing the song to you.
I would say
There's something very melancholy about that song, and that I have to say, I in singing it felt similarly. It definitely got me a few times.
Yeah.
A few of those rounds, second half of that song, I was like, a couple of those vocal takes, and I was like, have yourself.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
There was a
Right?
lot of editing because I started bawling at the second verse.
And then at the end, you're like, Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, Isaac. It's so nice.
I was just trying to use my baritone voice for the most power possible.
So picking the songs for this album was not easy, and part of
No,
the
that's
reason-
probably one of the hardest things ever.
And it's part of the reason we did wait 20 years was making sure we had the right songs, and several of the songs on this album really weren't classics when we made Snowed In, right?
Yeah.
If you think about Mariah Carey's All I Want for Christmas Is You, I mean, that just wasn't that old of a song
Right, yeah.
when we made Snowed In. Or for that matter, Wonderful Christmas Time, the Paul McCartney song. It just, they hadn't reached the point where they had been around long enough that it was really a classic. And now I think people turn those on and they have their nostalgia associated with them. And so we could really go, okay, how would we do Hanson's version of these songs?
Yeah.
And then finding, the balance of, diving into some of these. I think this record is a little slower, right? Partly because we played a lot of fast songs on the first record. But
And sped up some.
Yes, that's true.
Little Saint Nick is not originally
No.
that fast or that ruckus.
how do you add to what Snowed In is, right?
Yeah.
Because we're not replacing it. It's adding onto the catalog. Someone asked me, they said, did you consider redoing any of the songs that were on Snowed In? And I was
Yeah.
like, no, because we really want it to be the companion.
Yeah, for
right?
sure.
It's something that now you have this bigger catalog of music.
Oh, yeah.
And adding songs, there isn't anything like Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas on the first record. There's some hymns, there's Little White Christmas, but the way we did each song, I think it really makes a complete package.
Absolutely.
It's been really interesting as we're out here talking about this record and actually doing some shows, because Snowed In we never did concerts for
No.
it. And just thinking about like how important, what a big event Christmas still is, in so many places. And I think one of the things that's really interesting about it now is there's so few experiences that everyone really is kind of sharing in culture. Like we're curating our playlists on our music we listen to, our movies, our TV, and as much as
it's all happening in the long tail,
not
in the moment.
And I think that's one of the powerful things about creating an album, Christmas album, is it does come back each year. For most people, whether you're religious or you're not, it's a cultural moment. It's a time to reflect on the year, time to reflect on your life a little bit, and it carries so much weight, and so. It's kind of refreshing to have something that kind of whoever you are, you're touched by it in some way, and that's during this this part of the year, and that makes picking the songs that much more important. And when you listen to the record, you hear Hanson, obviously it's our version of Christmas, but I think a lot of times people get kind of they become a different artist through Christmas albums, whereas we very much are thinking of this as, okay, this is a record we're going to make. The theme is Christmas. And so picking songs that still have some rock and roll elements to them that feel like if you listen to this at any time of the year, you're still going to like, I like this arrangement. This sounds like the band, it sounds like a band. It doesn't sound, super, polished and clean. And you hear real instruments and guitar riffs. And it's like the lead single, which is the title, Finally It's Christmas, is... you get you really kind of takes you on a ride. It's fun, it's celebratory, but it's got, big guitar riffs and, saxophone solos and, so.
And much like Christmas brings together people, so does Hanson Concerts.
Yes.
And you guys are doing 2 sold-out shows in Toronto. I'm coming to tomorrow.
Nice.
I have to say, with my fiance, I have to give him credit. This is his 4th Hanson concert.
Wow.
That's how I knew I was going to marry him. It's because
he's a smart man.
Right? He's got good taste in it. I was born as one of his jams right now.
Oh,
He
nice.
loves walking around the house with the dogs dancing. But, bringing people together at a concert and talking about, Christmas and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
It's really cool, and especially for fans, too, who haven't experienced a Hanson Christmas show as well, right?
Yeah, nobody's experienced. Tonight is going to be the first official Christmas concert we've ever done.
No pressure.
First of the tour. So
it's actually been really interesting too doing rehearsals, because you very rarely find yourself, like, never in the last 25 years, besides like the very first tour, but not even really then, are you actually finding yourself rehearsing this much music that we have never played together up until like 2.5 weeks ago.
Right.
The arrangements, the arrangements from Snowed In, 20 years ago they were created, and we've never sat down as a band and worked them out and gone like, how would we do it live? And so it's cool. It's part of the reason I think, here we are 25 years, a quarter century in, and having firsts is important.
Yeah.
And even if in this case it's looking back, that's okay too. And so
it's a good looking back.
Well, I think it keeps you excited about what you're doing, and it keeps you challenged, because you're going, okay, how does this arrangement, how does this work with the new stuff? Are there things we want to alter to, because we don't have a studio worth of people. We have just like 6 guys on stage, and how do we change it to make it really work and sound great? But it's going to be a blast.
Yeah. Right on.
I've been pleasantly surprised how well even the old stuff.
Expected it to be terrible.
Well, no, but there is always that challenge where when music is 20 years old and you haven't spent years, playing it over and over again, or frankly, even the new record, there's a degree to which you do certain things a certain way in the studio, and then putting them actually in that environment, you just have to make sure that it all kind of fits together, and it fits together really, really nicely. It's been really, really fun to do.
we've established that we're challenged. Yes,
Hanson. Hi.
Very
We're
challenged.
challenged.
Setting the bar low so you can crush it. That should be the new tour
when you
slogan.
come to the show, don't expect much. Wait, I mean, sorry.
We like to jump hurdles over our bar.
Right? This is a whole obstacle course set up on stage too. Right on. Well, thank you guys so much for taking the time to speak with me. I really appreciate it. And Merry Christmas.
Thank you.
All
Merry
the
Christmas.
best. And enjoy.
Yeah, we will. Thanks.
Thanks.